Morgan joins us now to discuss aspartame and its effects. Dr. Morgan, happy 4th of July weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks for coming on and talking about this because this raised some eyebrows over the weekend. It's based on a Reuters report coming out and saying the WHO is going to label this a possible carcinogen. That sparks some alarm, but then I'm a little confused because I see the FDA has approved this thing for decades now, saying it's safe. So who are we supposed to believe here?
You know, originally it was submitted to the FDA in 1974 and rejected, and then finally approved in 1981. But there have been lingering questions about aspartame since that time. Recently, what has happened is that the French have conducted a very large study that drew a correlation between aspartame and cancer, and then Canada as well has had multiple organizations to also state that aspartame may not be beneficial and actually may be unnecessary. So the World Health Organization is taking another look at this.
I want to read, there's been some news articles out that have downplayed the significance of this report. I want to read one from The Verge. It says that this WHO agency that consumers should listen to, or this is not the agency that consumers should listen to with regard to food safety because it only assesses the hazard of a given substance, not the risk. For example, there is a hazard of a meteor destroying the earth or the sun causing skin cancer, but that's not what matters to the average person. What matters is the actual risk of a hazard happening. So given that, I know a lot of people who drink Diet Coke on the regular. Should they be concerned at all of what they're consuming?
You know, when we look at sodas in particular have about 180 milligrams of aspartame. What we have been advised is safe to consume each day is 40 milligrams per kilo. And so what does that mean? I am probably about a 60 kilo woman, which about 132 pounds. So that would mean that I would need to consume 2,400 milligrams per day, well beyond the 40 milligrams. And so how would you do that? If you're drinking soda, that would be 12 to 13 cans of soda per day.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. What we don't know is what are the cumulative effects over time, as well, if that safety value is actually going to be moved, although we don't expect on July 14th, when the World Health Organization comes out with their recommendations, that they will be addressing what is the safe dose daily for consumers.
Why are we hearing about this now? Like, why is this a story now?
One of the things is that it has always been around. It has been this lingering concern. And now we have these studies from lab rats that seem to be drawing a correlation between cancer and aspartame. And then the French have this big study, and the Canadians also have multiple organizations that are bringing forth additional information. And I think the World Health Organization wants to take another look at it. What's interesting is that I am anticipating that they're going to list it as a possible carcinogen, which is really their lowest designation of risk. But they are going to draw a correlation and an association between aspartame and cancer for the consumer, for the public, for the first time, such that people can start to have this as an awareness. But you're right, it's quite a bit of aspartame above the recommended that you would have to exceed.
On that same list, the same level, aloe vera is also there, very hot beverages. So there's other things commonly used that can get this level of designation. I guess, what significance then is this study, is this classification?
And so we'll have to wait and see what happens on July 14th. But they will be drawing for the first time a correlation between aspartame and cancer and what that means. I think what we can expect as things move forward is that it likely will move from possible over time to probable, which may be a higher designation. This may be just the tip of the iceberg as we sponsor more and more and more studies to take a look at this. And let's not forget, it's not just in sodas, it's in puddings and chewing gum. So we have it quite a bit within our environment, and artificial sweeteners are used quite frequently. Just sweetened beverages, coffees and teas. So these are things that we need to understand. The World Health Organization has had its eye on aspartame for a while, and they have recently stated, even as recently as May, that it should not be considered as an adjunct to weight loss because It's so sweet, 200 times sweeter than sugar.
200 times?
200 times sweeter than sugar. It actually stimulates the body to crave more sugar. And so you get the opposite effect.
So you think you're cutting the
loss.
sugar out with the
That's
Diet
right.
Coke over a regular Coke, but then you have these negative effects.
That's right. Your body craves more sugar, and so you have an increase in obesity, increase in type 2 diabetes. We've also seen an increase in cardiovascular outcomes and mortality. So the World Health Organization is taking quite a close look at this.
So whether it's sugar or a sweetener, be careful with moderation, basically?
Moderation until we know more.
All right. Well, we can still enjoy it for 4th of July weekend then, thankfully. Dr. Jane Morgan, always a pleasure on. Happy
Thank
4th
you.
to you. Thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
this.
Happy 4th.